how much you are making is not as important as what you do with how much you're making. Save or invest from your earnings before, not what is left. Do you get my point? And that's why then your investment or your savings suffer more than your spending. But if you started with your investment or saving, then your spending will suffer, which would work for you.
Welcome to another edition of Mindset Profits. I did a video with Umandilake, our, should I even say guest today? Because so just to let you know, we're doing a double recording. I think this one is probably coming a week after the previous one that we did. So if you didn't see that one, it's somewhere in the YouTube channel, somewhere. And it's a good one. The Mandela keeps coming back because it's just so good. So
thank you.
So what we did, we talked about the power of a salary, and I think what stood out for me is just the take that a lot of people live their lives earning a salary, never use it well, reflect back at the end of their lives and see that this really didn't work for me. So we shot that to talk to 6 powerful benefits that you can access when you have a salary. So what we want to do with this video, it's going to be shorter. What we want to do today is just talk to some of the practical tips that we've seen people that do the right things with their salary do. So Mandela, welcome, man.
Thank you.
You told me of a guy that I had to open and check.
Yeah.
The name Ronald Reid.
Yeah.
The article that I say, it says the millionaire janitor who built an 8 million portfolio by the time he died.
And it's in dollars.
This is in dollars.
Yeah.
Janitor who by the time he died had 8 million, and that they only saw because he, as part of the estate in his inheritance, he was donating a lot of that money.
But 6 million to the library.
Why did that story stand out? Because I've mentioned this story before, and I think the striking contribution that always comes in every workshop where I've mentioned anything in that direction. I think the one time that I heard about it and talked about it, the people said, then he didn't enjoy his life. What was it all for?
I know, because most, you see, and it speaks to what our lives are about again. They do say he was a frugal guy. So frugality actually is not a bad thing if you want to accumulate, because I mean even Warren Buffett speaks about that.
Many people talk about
and your friend, I was going
to
say,
living in his one house
for the longest
when
time.
He was a billionaire.
And driving the same car for the longest time. And Upesi Singo would also feature.
Upesi is one classic. We have our own. We have our own.
Exactly. So for me, it speaks to what I normally say, that how much you are making is not as important as what you do with how much you're making. For sure, we put aside the whole thing of enjoyment or not, because again, we don't know what kind of life he actually had. We don't know what kind of house or whatever. We know about the jobs that he had, which were menial. But if he could actually raise $8 million, that's 140 million rands.
That's a lot of
money.
A
lot of money. Half of us in the country
won't
don't have that. Exactly.
Much,
You get my point? So it speaks firstly to the discipline of what you do with how much we're making, with how much you're making is very critical compared to how much you're making. Because most of us have this belief that the more I'm making, the better my life will be. It's not true until you correct what you do with how much you're making.
I love that, because I was running a seminar, a workshop with teachers. And I got, when we were done, I got to talk to some of them, and some of them were telling me what they had done and some of the portfolios that they had, because they were both, the one couple, they were both teachers.
Okay.
But with their salary, they accumulated this property portfolio. And it was through their salary. And now they were retiring, and they were showing me the cash that's now available, because they're saying, now we don't know what we must do with this one. And I'm looking at the numbers and thinking, yo, teaching is good, man. Yeah. It's good. So it's that thing of, it's so powerful if you do the right things with that money for a very long time.
Correct.
And like you're saying with Uraid, we don't know what lifestyle he had. Maybe, or what he aspired for. Maybe what made him happy was whatever it is he was doing, right?
Correct.
So for him, he really did enjoy it. And maybe he wanted to leave that money behind for a good cause, which he did because he donated to schools and libraries and stuff.
And the other thing we must also speak to about this whole notion of accumulating wealth
Yeah.
is the sense of freedom that you want more than this perception other people have of you. All we are putting money away for really is for us to be able to say, I can buy myself a year, 2, 10, the remainder of my life without me having to go and clock in someone's business as an employee.
And without me having to be a dependent. I think that's the most painful part. When you are a dependent and you're really vulnerable to the relationship that you build with people that you now depend on. Because if that relationship got sour along the way, you're a parent with kids that don't love you and don't like you and don't want you around.
There we go.
Now you're dependent. They don't want you around.
Which speaks to the quality of life then. So we must be able to look at these things because those things should be the ones that are motivating us in the things that we are doing right now. For example, what we do with our salary, the discipline that we apply.
So when you're introducing this discipline, what are some of the right things that you build discipline around? I think you can pick up any of your favorites because you've got many.
Yeah, I think it's very important. I mean, I think one of the things you had on was what you do on your payday with the money you have. I think it's very key for you to firstly do the necessary and right things up front. Automate them, by the way. For example,
It's powerful.
Automate your responsibilities on your payday because you don't want. Firstly, we spoke about credit score at some point. That speaks to your relationship with debt. Your credit score tells the bank or whatever financing house whether you are reliable or not.
Yeah.
Your risk factor, whether should they attach high risk or not when it comes to you when you want debt, right? So that speaks to what you do when your money comes in. That's your take home. Your savings amount must go in there. Your investment must go in there. We started with a tithe at that. Yeah, you do your tithe.
You passed then, eh? It's coming out
here and there, exactly. So your family responsibilities. You can't start off with the things that are not necessary, and then later on think about, oh, I'm supposed to pay my kids' school fees. All of those things must be automated so that which is really yours, which is left after you've paid all your commitments, then you can start working on that. If ever you are forever depending on chance for your finances, you are always going to have issues.
So I like that's 2 points in one, which is, in case someone missed it, number one, do manage your credit score. I think that's the biggest hack and easiest low-hanging fruit in terms of hacks for what you do with your salary. But number two, automate your savings and your investments.
Yeah.
Automation, the reason being it takes willpower out of the equation, because if your money is in front of you and you're looking at it, your willpower is at play. And for many of us, we don't have the willpower to say, let me take some of this and save it. So you want your willpower to not be in the equation.
Correct.
When there's that consideration. I think one of the things that make people struggle with savings in particular, and you've never built the discipline to get started is hard. And what I've seen help some people is to start small and build a rhythm around it, because like any other habit, it's hard to get started. And savings and investment, if you've never been doing it, it's not an easy one to start.
And if I can, actually there's a book called Pay Yourself First. That's a very crucial book for someone who wants to get their financial affairs in order if they're not in a great place right now. It's mostly for employees. It's actually a book that was written centuries ago, yet it's so applicable right now because of on what you're saying about automating so as to take out the willpower, I was going to say make it necessary as well. Save from the earnings before. Save or invest from your earnings before, not what is left. Do you get my point?
Yeah, I remember. I think there's a quote. I hope I get it right.
Yeah.
The quote was saying, rich people invest and save what's left.
Yeah.
Poor people spend and save what's left,
exactly.
which often is nothing.
Correct. And that's why then your investment or your savings suffer more than your spending. But if you started with your investment or investment or saving, then your spending would suffer, which would work for you.
That's a cool one. You made me remember the quote. Actually, it's invest and spend.
Yeah.
Others spend and then try to save.
Yeah.
All right. No, that's a cool one. I like the whole saving and investment. And I think one of the things that will help someone who's struggling with saving and investing is to just give savings purpose.
Yeah.
So that you save for a rainy day, you save for these emergencies, you save for investment opportunities. You save for opportunities because you'd never know what opportunities are coming.
Correct.
Sometimes opportunities keep coming, but you keep disqualifying yourself from even trying to go for them because you don't have anything saved up, right? So you save for opportunities, you save for investing, you can save for emergencies. But I think I mentioned in the other recording that you can save for holidays. Yeah. The reason why you end up in debt is because when something important comes, you need to finance it using debt.
Exactly.
And savings then come in because now you are saving for that purpose as well.
And writing down your financial goals. Yeah, so the importance of writing down your financial goals also, it's another thing that it gives you direction. There's something powerful about writing things down. I'm learning this at an older age. I didn't always like. I grew up. There was a church I went to at a younger age. I mean the pastor there would always tell us you must write down your. And at that time you were a kid, so you don't always take everything serious, But now I'm seeing the importance of writing things down, writing them. It actually also helps you to rehash them because as you are doing whatever you're doing, you have this thing that's guiding you, this guiding document. It actually helps you to be able also to go back and tick off things. There's something powerful about that ticking off. It could be a small thing. I mean, if you have a goal of being debt-free, and let's just say you use that method. What do they call it? Is it an avalanche method?
There's an avalanche method and there's the snowballing method.
Snowballing is starting with the small one.
Small debts, so you tick them off.
Exactly.
The avalanche is starting at the highest interest and knocking them off. So.
I like the ones with the smaller ones because at least that ticking off or that scratching out has a psychological effect that encourages you to actually want to do more of that. So now even when you get uncommitted money like you do, first thing that comes to mind, let me go and actually chuck that money there. And you then, you somehow get there. I understand the ones with the higher interest are also, I mean, you're trying to reduce how much you are spending.
How much you end up paying at the end of it. I think I try and say balance it out and look at, because some of the highest interest could be with dangerous bomashonisas, the loan sharks. It sit with those. So it doesn't help you to look at the little ones to knock off when this guy is here, because they will, it will not end up well. It will not end well for you.
Actually, that's something.
I'm thinking
that, because it's something interesting that actually people do go to other people that can be dangerous to ask for money. That is dangerous.
So I when it comes to paying off debt, I always say high emotional payoff, because there's an emotional payoff when it comes to starting small and ticking off that I have 20 things to pay. Now I only have 5 left. There's the emotional payoff there. But sometimes your debt is sitting with dangerous people or abusive people. People that call you every day and say, what kind of person are you? You are useless. You owe me money. You'll always be poor. This is what if you have someone like that and you owe them money, pay them off fast. Don't stop worrying about all these other technicalities. because the benefit to your sanity, because ultimately you're the asset, right?
Yeah,
that
true.
is to pay back these loans.
No,
So
true.
I think the benefit to your sanity to just tick off some of the debts is immeasurable.
Sure. No, yeah. Your safety is priority.
Safety is
I
first.
also, I mean, in the previous comments, it was without the threat to your safety, but yeah, anything that threatens your
You were
safety.
not looking
yeah,
at
no.
abusive
Yeah.
people because they are
Yeah.
there. Man.
No,
People
that's
that can
bad.
abuse and say, because you owe me, do this.
Okay, that is.
It can get there. I think another hack. I'm surprised we didn't even start with this one, and we should start with this one. When it comes to you making your salary stretch,
Yeah.
talk to your financial advisor. And a good one.
Yeah.
Look around and talk to financial advisors, because a lot of people are trying to wing it and figure these things out without running the numbers at all.
So it's imperative to understand whatever option you go for. What are the benefits? Because some, they promise you a great return at the end of the tenure. For example, if ever you invest 1,000 or 2 a month for 5 years, they could say it's gonna be whatever 100 and whatever 1,000. When you look at it, it sounds nice, but if you sit down and you actually do the calculations and you look at the taxes you might get to pay and all of that, it might not be so much worth it. Or if you could actually look at the opportunity cost of you taking that money and putting it into something else,
Yeah.
you could be getting another return. Again, we look at such things as your tax-free savings account. Those things are, I mean, they're working. You've got your S&P 500s in there that actually, to a certain extent, they've been proven for the previous years that they could go up to 20% return. Those things are things we need now to wake up to. And one of the things I'm saying, Dando, to people these days, the reason why we do investments or savings is for our money to retain its buying power. The difference between you who takes the money and put it towards something that grows it, and someone who takes that money and puts it under a mattress, is the fact that your money is going to keep affording you the things you are affording now. But that other one was getting broke by day. He might have a lot of money.
Because the money is losing value.
There we go. Because keeping money in its state, in the form in which it is in, which is money, is not a wise thing.
So if you're not investing, your money is losing value. You're losing value every year.
Correct.
And I think anyone who doesn't understand that just has to look at the cost of food, the cost of clothing, the cost of transport, electricity, what's been happening in that equation versus how fast the salary has been increasing to keep up with those increases. For many people, that number doesn't look nice.
In the news recently, they were saying most employed people spend about 40% of their salaries on utilities these days only. When it's talking utilities, talking water, lights, rates and taxes. There's no food item. You have not started maintaining yourself.
Goodness. And that needs to change.
Definitely. And it speaks to us because of one of the things we need to consider is the fact that in our country with high taxes, I mean, we've been keeping on going back to taxes and all of that, is that we don't get the benefit per se that we should be getting for people who are paying as much tax as we do. For example, we shouldn't be paying for security, and I keep saying this. We shouldn't be paying for security. We shouldn't be paying for private hospitals. We shouldn't be paying for private schools and all of those things, because the taxes that we're paying should be taking care of that. But can you see, you've got 40% on your utilities. You have to then pay all these other things that should be taken care of by your taxes.
Which is, that's not nice.
Yeah.
That's a topic for another one.
Yeah.
Another day. Now, I want to look at another tip that people can consider.
Yeah.
Just channeling because if you don't do this, we just said investing.
Yeah.
And we're talking about investing when it's in the case of a salary. But one thing that people don't invest is bonuses, extra payments, those extra thank yous, salary increments. Every time there's salary increments, bonuses, lump sums that keep coming, those never get invested.
Yeah. You're right. I think it's the whole emotional spending kind of thing that we actually earn so that we can make ourselves feel good by buying something we don't need. Just to say, I bought that with money that I did not expect to have. You get and most of the time when that happens, people don't feel like they've wasted money. Because remember, they were not expecting this money. But they also don't look on the flip side. That actually I could have used this money to grow my money or to grow my worth by putting it towards something that will grow it even further. Because I think it's actually it should be an automated act to actually take any money that I don't expect, put it towards something that's going to be an investment or whatever the case is.
Wonderful. Your favorite one. Use your salary to get assets.
Yes.
To get credit that gets you assets.
Yeah, because of on there we're talking about two things. We're talking about financing. We're talking about an asset. So because of these things serve different things, different purposes. The kind of finance that you are using to acquire an asset is critical because of the income that you're going to be generating from that asset is actually going to be exposed to taxes. And when it's exposed to taxes, then you need expenses to reduce that exposure. So that's why then you actually take your salary, you go and acquire a debt. Even if you have the money, we've had this, you take that money, you acquire debt so that you can generate interest expense whilst you are generating income from the asset because of the asset must be income generating. Then whatever that income exposure is to taxes, you reduce it with the interest expense.
Smart move. And you're not using this credit access to buy liabilities.
No. Yeah.
Because other people do.
Yeah, no, don't buy liabilities. Don't go and buy a new car now. And I know it's always a temptation.
Contagious.
Yes, yeah.
I talked to someone who was actually getting a first car. I said it at the time, it was just a joke. You say something and you think, this is smart. I need to use this
for yourself. Yeah.
After that, I said it to her. I always say it to other people. I say, don't buy your first car with the last car mindset. What I meant was, it's your first car.
Yeah.
It's not the last car you're going to own. And a lot of the times you think you can go for the maximum amount of credit to get this amazing car.
Yeah.
But it's your first car.
It's true.
You're going to crash it a couple more times. Not the later one. So buy the first one, the first car mindset. Just needs to get you around and not look too shady. And she cut her budget by half and got the car.
Sure.
Came back next year to say, what, that decision.
It is.
I'm able to invest now because of that decision. I have savings now because of that decision.
Yeah.
And really, people still say your car is amazing. Even if it was half what I thought I was going to get, because she had gotten a quotation and she was showing me to say, things are looking good.
Yeah.
This is what I'm going to be getting next month. The next time you see me, I said, big mistake.
Yeah. I can share this because it will be anonymous. Because one of the ladies I spoke to as well, who was almost kind of consulting, she is in the property space. But now one of the things that she was sharing, which was quite an interesting phenomenon, because she said she got exposure to property because of where she was working. She was working at a bank at some point. Then she would actually get to see how properties were bought and sold and all of that. Then she started buying, and she was making good returns on that. She would buy land. I think there was one land she bought for like 700,000, and then now it's like a 2.1 million. Nothing down on it, and so. But then she says she was keeping, and she would flip at times, and this was coming well. She says until she bought her dream car. Just what you say.
And the math, the numbers shift.
And now she has to make decisions that are going to affect either she sells the property or she actually sells the car. You see, and these are the key examples that people need to be exposed to. That one decision that you make
it shifts your financials
everything.
for 5 years.
Exactly.
Like, some decisions you take 5 years, sometimes even longer to recover from. It's nice in the moment.
Yeah.
And the people that say amazing car, they'll say it now. In a month, they won't be saying amazing car anymore. Like 3 months, 4 months, they're used to your car. It's just saying, that's just you. But you are not used to the bills.
Exactly. The bills are demanding. The bills are demanding. And that's very, I like that quote. So don't buy your first car as if it's your life. That's a nice one. And I think if we look at people actually, as we were talking about like Warren Buffett, who actually talked about the importance of you can stand to your lifestyle, your expenses. He actually said this, that some people don't even have to do a lot in order to be wealthy.
Yeah.
You can keep the same lifestyle whilst your salary is increasing on a year-to-year basis. You are bound to do better.
All right. So I think the last one for me is, I think we talked about budgeting in the previous episode. I think one of the easiest low-hanging fruits for many people, something to do besides talking to your financial advisor, is just to learn the art of budgeting. Because built into budgeting is goal setting.
Yeah, correct.
Built into budgeting is just financial discipline.
Yeah.
And committing your money to a specific purpose.
Yeah.
And I don't know what framework you use or suggest, but I know other people talk about distributing 50% going to your living expenses, 20% going to your savings and investments and stuff. That 50, 30, 20 framework, others split it into 5.
Yeah.
How do you split?
So for me, because of those are normally your perfect scenarios as to that's the end goal in mind, to actually have that 50, 30, 20, or even because of, as you're saying, the different method and strategies.
Yeah.
For me, it depends where you're at. Firstly, find yourself where you're at. Mine is to deal with debt first. Any unnecessary debt. When we're talking about unnecessary debt, is your short-term loans, credit cards, clothing stores, all of that. Wipe that out. And then we actually start by, if you can actually even reduce that personal expenditure. If you can actually make it 40, and you can actually then increase your investing as well as your savings, because of, again, we need to distinguish those two, because of your investments are for long term, and those are actually, I recommend that we actually put a little bit more emphasis on those, because of their growth is actually commendable.
Yeah.
Your savings are really for a rainy day, so they actually have very little or a very small return. However, they are for you to be able to access something as soon as something comes up, or you want
not
to
get in trouble.
Yes, and not have to make calls. Yes, make a lot of calls. And by the way, because now I'm gonna have to think. I do have about 8 steps of when I do pay yourself first. I have an 8-step method there. You start with budgeting, and then after budgeting, you actually have to pay. So you actually do. You save for a rainy day about 20,000 rands, depending on where your life is at.
Okay.
After that, we actually get to ask you to pay your debt. Then that's your third step. Then after that, you actually then start investing, because of, as we're saying, that. So it actually, because of you're progressing.
You do step 1, you move to step 2 as you're making progress. I think if someone will listen to the math and say, what was the 30% for? I'm thinking, as I said, 50%
is your personal living expenses,
and 20% savings and investments, and the 30 is your needs and wants,
because you have to factor those in. You're going out, supporting your friends, your family, and all of those. You actually
family support, giving, all of the other things that you then start to do. I think these are basic fundamentals. They are not rocket science, but I think the biggest tip, someone even wrote a book about this, that if you want to build wealth and do the fundamental right things with your salary, manage your lifestyle, automate your savings and investments. There's a whole book about just those two.
You see,
you can write a lot.
I was gonna say exactly. We need to work on that.
Manage your needs and wants. Automate your savings and your investment, which is, in other words, pay yourself first.
Yeah.
All right, so you can close it off with encouragement for someone who says, "Hey, I want to get started. I'm inspired by you.
Oh,
Where do I find you? What else are you going to teach me?"
okay. So you find me on Instagram, find me on Facebook, find me on TikTok, all Mandilake _non-danger, and right across. So I post most of my content there. And lastly, I mean, you actually have a whole lot to learn from this channel. Mindset Profits has got quite a lot going on there, but I'd also say to people, take yourself seriously, and do not just keep dreaming because of we always keep dreaming and deferring the need to act now. If you start taking small steps now, trust me, by the end of the year you would actually pat yourself on the back for the progress you would have made.
Yeah, that's wonderful, man. And I think from my side, as we close off, some of the reasons that people don't do the right things with their salary is down to their environment. You are used to people that normalize spending money the way you spend it. You are used to being in a community of people that don't save, that don't invest. So because it's normal, you don't see the need to change. Not because you might not master the discipline, and not because you might not save if you were taught and you saw the options and the power that's out there. So it's just to encourage everyone, just be more conscious and aware of who you're hanging around with, the lessons they speak about, the things they normalize, because that might be you. That will keep you comfortable with the status quo. I hope you're enjoying this kind of content in this shorter format. Not every episode is going to be short. We're doing it this way because I believe that some topics are important, so important that you need the quick lesson so you go and implement before we do a very long video where you're going to forget most of it. So we'll mix it up. Some will be short, some will be long. Where there's stories, we'll make them long. But for your sake, I hope you enjoyed. And if you're hanging still this time, do the YouTube thing of the click, like, share, subscribe, those things. See you in the next episode. Thank you.